I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare samples of hot mix asphalt for testing. What we do is we get a box of mix in weighing about 40 pounds. We have to split that down to the test sample sizes for the individual tests. The first thing we need is a large pan that we can start splitting in. And a box of mix that has been heated up so that it's workable. The concept of splitting hot mix is to blend it together a little first, make sure it's mixed up. So we spread it out in the pan, and then we do called creating a truncated cone, and we do that by folding the material into the center and pressing the material down so that the large rocks do not roll down, trying to avoid segregation. So we just go around in a circle here, pressing the material down, avoiding any segregation. That's what we call a truncated cone. Once we've established that, now we spread the material out evenly in the pan. The material is stuck to the trowel. Scrape off and distribute around. Don't put it all in one spot because it's mostly fine asphalt. So distribute this around the sample. Now we're ready to start sampling. So always take out the smallest samples first. So if you were doing a ignition oven sample, you would take that first. I'm not going to demo that. We don't do the ignition oven as part of this class. So the GMM sample, or what we call the rice test, is the next smallest sample. It needs to be between 2,000 and 2,500 grams. So we get a round pan, tear it out on our scale. Now when we split by this method, we start in the center with a square scoop like this, go all the way down to the bottom of the pan, all the way to the edge for that first scoop. Come back, go the other direction. I'm just going to set that aside till we're ready to demonstrate the GMM test. Now I'm going to get my gyratory sample. Typically the gyratory sample needs to be approximately 4,700 grams. the actual spec for the gyratory sample is that at the end of the test, it would be 115 plus or minus 5 millimeters in height. So 4,700 grams works for most materials, but there are materials such as steel slag mixes that may require significantly more material than the 4,700 grams in order to end up at 115 millimeters when the gyratory is done compacting. Hopefully this is a standard material here. We're going to try 4,700 grams. Notice once again I went another direction with the scoop. And come back, go this way. And just keep working around. Went all the way down to the bottom of the pan every time. And all the way to the edge. A little too much. There we go. Now once I have that in the pan, needs to be spread out so it'll heat evenly in the oven. This sample has to be heated back up to 275 plus or minus 5 degrees before it is compacted in the compactor. So this has to go back in the oven. Place it in the oven. Temperature probe here. Put the temperature probe into the sample. Now the remaining material in the pan, you would normally split out 2 gyratory specimens. I'm just going to go with the one that we need for the demonstration. With any material left over, once you're done with this, simply gets put back in the box and saved in case other testing is needed to be done.